Hello my gorgeous friends, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Teresa. Today it's a little bit different. I'm not doing anything about makeup, hence nothing on my face, brow stuff. Yeah, awkward. Anyways, as you might see from the thumbnail and the title, I wanted to talk about some Indigenous content creators that I've really been enjoying. So they are on YouTube, on Instagram, TikTok, and I also wanted to highlight some businesses as well. Now, part of this was prompted by more and more information coming out about just the atrocities that have occurred in the residential schools across Canada. And the really awful thing about that is it's not a massive shock, because we are talking about a population of people who have been brutalised and oppressed for centuries, ever since colonisation first occurred in the 1400s. So when we find that there are over 6,000 bodies based at just a small portion of these residential schools, it's not really that surprising, but it does kind of just show that this is still a part of our recent history and it's still impacting us on a day-to-day basis. Part of why I also wanted to talk about that is within Ireland we've had something similar happen ourselves. We have found babies, like mass graves at residential sort of settings run by the Catholic Church, so it kind of hit home to me in a certain way. But in addition to that, the Irish and Indigenous people of America have always had a very, very special relationship. I'm going to put some links down below to further explain this, but in a nutshell, in what we would call the Great Famine of 1845, our population was decimated. We're still recovering, really trying to get back to pre-famine population levels. So the Choctaw tribe, who were themselves going through an incredible amount of oppression and horrors, they were going through the Trail of Tears, again, information down below. They heard about these people that they had never met and raised what little they had and sent it over to us. So today there is actually a statue in Cork commemorating the Choctaw tribe. The University College of Cork actually has a scholarship for in order to remember this hugely gracious act that was put forward to us. And actually 2 years ago a Choctaw descendant actually earned that scholarship, which was quite cool. So it's for a lot of these reasons that I wanted to talk about some of these content creators, because some of the issues that we have seen is that their voices aren't being heard. And the really rubbish thing is white privilege. It occurs. I'm very aware of it. I benefit from this far more than I'm comfortable with. But I thought, why not use this to an advantage? I am more likely to be heard than some other people, so I wanted to take this opportunity to talk about some creators who you really should be giving some time and some energy towards. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then do please keep on watching. So I figured I'd talk a little bit about some YouTube content creators first, because obviously that's my happy place. That's where I make my content, and if you guys are watching this, you're likely to want to watch some YouTube content. So the first person I want to talk about is Wavy Native Baby. So she's actually Navajo. I mean, she has just a back catalogue of some really excellent videos to have a little look at. She really goes through like life on the reservation. She brings you, like, some recent vlogs have been like zoo trips, like on the reservation, and she goes through like some native museums. So she talks a little bit about the history, a little bit about the culture. But she does it in a really accessible way. And, you know, obviously I'm Irish. I don't know a huge amount about the Indigenous culture. I wouldn't have been raised around that. But I think she just talks about it in a really understandable way. And she is also a model, so she talks a little bit about that. I mean, you can see she is absolutely stunning. and she even has like some videos around like unboxing Indigenous owned brands. So I know I'll be talking a little bit about Indigenous owned brand, but have a little look at her video on that. She put it up a couple of months ago, so you know, it is worth looking at. So I highly recommend checking out Wavy Native Baby. So I'll obviously have all of these channels and things linked down below, so don't worry, you know, check the description box for all of this information. The next person I want to talk about is Diana Onko Ingyadet. Now, I feel a huge affinity towards this particular person because she actually works in higher education. If you don't know me, that's my general background. And she talks an awful lot about the miseducation, not just around Indigenous culture, but things in general. And unfortunately, she hasn't uploaded as regularly as I would like. Her last video was 5 months ago, but I do think she is worth looking out for. But she's also on like other platforms like LinkedIn, etc., because obviously she's an academic, so she has to keep up to date with all of these things. But I just think she is just a brilliant thing to watch for any of you guys who may be students. She even has like a few videos on like tips and tricks as a student and like what's going to work for you, what isn't going to work for you. And I just thought, for me as an academic, I was like, this is actually really, really helpful. So do check her out. The next person then is Jojo Jackson. So he's actually quite a young content creator. I know, I'm a 31-year-old watching young creators, feels a bit weird, but he does kind of talk about his life on the reservation, things like reservation voting, and you know, he just has like a lot of fun, joyous vlogs. They're like a lot of lifestyle stuff, and it's all very like tongue-in-cheek. Again, his uploads aren't wildly regular, but he does have like a really nice back catalogue of videos to have a little look at, and I do think he's worth having a look out for. So we then have Dee Lovely Life, and she uploads really regularly, and I think if you like a lot of lifestyle vlogs, I think you're really going to enjoy her stuff, because she does like some hauls, like Dollar Tree hauls, but she also kind of does some general things around, here's the first barbecue we've had in a while, and she kind of talks about, you know, what it's like for her average day, and you know, it's everything from that to like meal planning and bits and pieces. So, and she's also done like some decluttering of like household stuff, which I was like, huh, never thought of that. Weirdly satisfying to watch, I will say. Again, she just has this really lovely positive air about her, and I just find her really soothing to watch, so I'd really, really recommend having a little look at her. We then have Christmas. Again, she's Navajo, and she goes on so many like little adventures. Like, I feel this amazing like vicarious fulfillment just looking at her videos. She has like a lot of different things, like she's gone on like little trips and she'll kind of vlog that, but she also has things like, there was a video where she had like a meet and greet with other Indigenous populations. So she met like other native YouTubers, which I thought was very, very cool. That's, by the way, what she called the video, in case you're wondering, meet and greet with native YouTubers. And she seems to be really, really interactive on her channel. Again, I feel like a lot of these creators don't have as many subscribers as they should, and they're putting out a lot of positivity, and they're just really, really worth having a look at. Like I said, she really goes through a lot of like physical journeys. So she goes to different parks and stuff. And obviously I'm in Ireland. It's going to be a long time before I can afford to get to the States. But she's showing all of the beautiful nature, and it's just, it's beautiful, it's very relaxing, and she again just has a really, really nice attitude. Then the last YouTuber I want to talk about is Sierra Johnson. So she has a couple of kind of chatty vlogs, again some like little journeys around, some meet and greets. She even actually has some merchandise, so she's somebody who you could support with your coin if you felt like it. She just does a lot of like chatty things, and she talks a little bit about life on the reservation and some bits and pieces like that. Again, I just think she's a great YouTuber to watch. So these are my recommendations in terms of YouTube. So do please subscribe to each of these people, give them some views, they totally deserve it. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about Instagram. I spend a frightening amount of time on Instagram, whether it's just curating stuff for releases and rants, or just looking at general pictures, thinking about how much better my life could possibly be. So I wanted to talk about some of the Indigenous content creators on Instagram as well, because again, they are worth following. The first one I want to talk about is Shayla O. Now, she is actually into like yoga and meditation, and she has like podcasts and all of these bits and pieces, and she has all of these resources on her Instagram where she kind of talks about, you know, where you can find certain things on meditation, her podcast, all that sort of thing. It's frustrating how incredibly beautiful she is. So, you know, I'm sitting there looking like a foot and looking at her pictures and being like, oh, how are you so stunning? But yeah, she's really great. I think she's worth looking at. I know quite a few of you guys like things like yoga, meditation, etc. So give her a follow. She would be along your lines of interest. Then we have Sean Q. Snyder. Now, okay, I can't talk about Sean without also talking about his partner, Adrian Stevens. Well, partner, husband, really. They fill my little queer heart with so much joy. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Sean Q. Snyder first. So he's actually a dancer, and he's a Two-Spirit native, which, you know, in case you didn't know, Indigenous populations were possibly the most LGBTQ friendly. You know, they really understood that gender is not binary. So he's absolutely fantastic. He's Navajo as well, I believe, and he dresses an awful lot in the traditional clothing of his particular tribe when he's dancing. So you really get a good feel of the culture, and he is so proud, and he just really embraces the history of his people, and there's something really incredible about that, because again, I'm Irish, and I know what it's like to, on some level, go through colonization and having your culture stripped from you. So when I see people who really embrace their culture and go for it, I'm like, yeah, you do you. You're absolutely fantastic. And I want to put like a quick picture of the two of them together. So Sean and Adrian, and they are just the absolute cutest. Like, they make my little heart go a flutter. So obviously I have to talk about Adrian as well. Really annoying. I had been following his previous account, and then his account got disabled. So this is his newest account. So again, all the details are down below. Again, he is also Two-Spirit native, and he is a model. Of course he is. He's absolutely stunning. So again, you see him in an awful lot of pictures with Sean as well. There's a huge amount of overlap with the two of them. He is also a designer and an artist, and you can see an awful lot of his inspiration comes from his own culture, and I just think it's absolutely beautiful. There's a vibrancy and a joy to his content that you don't really see in a lot of people. So if you're looking for that in your feed, do check them out. Then we have Dean Aesthetics. Her name is Charlie, so she's Indigenous trans femme with great hair, as she says in her bio on Instagram. She has a lot of photography and bits and pieces on her Instagram. She also has a TikTok, if I remember correctly. So actually, if you go onto her Instagram, there's like a link tree, so you can find all of the information there. So by the way, if I'm just talking about one person on Instagram, do check out to see if they've TikTok, because it's normally like linked in their Instagram as well. And she's just my cup of tea, because again, she's all about that justice and searching for freedom and, you know, equal rights. And I think this is more of what we need to be looking at in our day-to-day lives. I think, you know, it's just beautiful. She's absolutely fantastic, and definitely one worth following, given the fact that the world is on fire. When we see people like this just coming up and stepping up and saying, hey, you know, here are the things that we need to have as a people to move forward and be better, you know what, I'm all for that. So a lot of you guys obviously watch me for makeup content, so this is one you absolutely need to follow if you like that sort of thing. So this is Nathau Malakisha is her handle on Instagram, but her name underneath is Lakeisha S. Custer Siwap. So again, she's Woodland Cree. Oh my God, her looks are just so inspiring. A lot of her eye looks are totally based upon her tribe's kind of use of beading within their artwork. And I just love that she has translated that into makeup. It is just absolutely stunning. I mean, again, when you're looking at her feed, you're going to feel very inadequate because she's absolutely stunning. You can see she really embraces her culture. I'm just her eye looks, like, I've taken to gluing things to myself, but she takes it to a totally different level. As far as I'm concerned, right, she has, I think, a little over 20,000 followers. She should have 50 times that much. She is so talented. She is so cool. I know a lot of you guys look for makeup inspiration, and her aesthetic is very much what I like. That clean, very graphic, but quite structured. I just think she is so talented. So do check her out. Look, I cannot say it enough. I really love her content. I'm like, when is she coming out with a new post? Because she's brilliant. Then we have Sings in the Timber. And again, he's an Indigenous photographer. So if you like filling your Instagram feed with beautiful pictures of scenery, he also takes pictures of Indigenous people in their natural settings, involved in dance, in everyday life. I love that sort of kind of candid photography because I think it really captures something quite beautiful, and there's something about his photography that I think just really appeals to me personally. I just think it's gorgeous. So if you like that sort of thing, again, follow him on Instagram. You won't regret it. This next one, if you've been following the Met Gala, right? I don't care what anyone says. I know there was a lot of stuff going on there. But for me, the standout was Quanah Chasing Horse. She's very young. She's 19, I believe. And she is just, she's amazing, absolutely incredible. This is her Instagram, by the way. When she went to the Met Gala, she really embraced, they were it was something like American ideology or something. I can't remember the exact theme, but she was like, we were here first. And I was like, yes, you bring that energy, girl, you bring that energy. And she really embodied an awful lot of stuff from her own tribe. I absolutely love her content. She's a model, but she's a lot more than just a pretty face. She is an amazing environmental activist. For a 19-year-old, I think of myself when I was 19 and I was not that put together. She is so poised and so graceful and so articulate. Again, she has a lot of links of bits and pieces on her Instagram. Do check her out. I just think she is absolutely spectacular and really worth giving support to. So now we're on to TikTok. If you're like me, you've spent many nights going through TikTok, and the fun thing is, once you start liking a few of these accounts, more accounts start to pop up because TikTok knows your algorithm. I got frightened the other day because I thought I got a very conservative video pop up in my feed, and I was like, oh no, I'm on the wrong side of TikTok, but it was actually a critique and I felt a lot better. So anyways, there are some amazing TikTok accounts. So the first TikTok content creator I want to talk about is Sherry McKay. So she also goes by Nishbish on TikTok. So obviously TikTok creators have a huge back catalogue of videos. They're quite short, they're easy to watch, easy to digest. She has lots of different types of videos, whether it's makeup or kind of talking about life in general. Obviously, when a lot of information was coming out about the atrocities in Canada, that further, let's call it what it is, cultural genocide, she had a lot of videos on that and talking about, Canada Day, etc. So again, really worth looking at because you will be educated from the perspective of somebody who is actually being impacted by these instances of injustice. So again, do give her a follow. Then the next person I want to talk about is James Jones. His handle is actually Notorious Cree. Oh my god, well, I can't dance, I'm very uncoordinated, but his videos are all, well, not all on dancing, but he has quite a few where he is showing traditional dances, and usually in the traditional clothing as well. And again, I love that because I love seeing people embracing their culture and making sure that it isn't, you know, falling victim to further colonization and oppression. And, you know, he talks a little bit about, you know, the impact of colonization and the impact on culture. And again, I find TikTok in particular is a really great sort of avenue for like little nuggets of education. So do check that out. Then the next person I want to talk about is Tia Wood. Her handle is Tia Mishik. She is Plains, Cree and Salish, and in pretty much all of her videos she ensures that she is wearing traditional clothing, etc. And again, I'm all for that, embrace your culture. And again, she gives an awful lot of kind of perspective of what it's like living as an Indigenous woman within the Americas, essentially. She's absolutely stunning, like stunning. She has also obviously talked out about the atrocities at the residential school. So again, I would urge you to have a look at those videos because again, they do give you the perspective of somebody who is impacted by this. Then the next person I want to talk about is Sheena Nova, and that's her handle as well. You may have come across her, she's quite popular. She is Inuk, so not Inuit, not Eskimo, Inuk, right? And sometimes she has her mum on with her, and my heart, oh my god, I can't cope. They were doing a video the other night that I was watching, and they were talking about, you know, that the Western population has totally misunderstood what the Eskimo kiss is. Now that their words, not mine, and they were like, it's not that, it's called a kamuk, I believe. I could have gotten it wrong, and it's so cute. It's like this like little nuzzle, and you kind of like almost sniff the anyways, it was so cute because it was her and her mom doing it, and you could just see the affection. I have such a soft spot for seeing parental relations. I don't know what it is, but again, there's a lot of education on that channel as well. Like for instance, she was talking about how their tribe, what the hell, pay more taxes than other Canadian groups. What is this injustice? Absolutely disgusting. And also that because their land is so cold, they can't actually grow crops. So they don't have a very plant-based diet, which I thought was absolutely fascinating. Did not realise that. So just watch her stuff. She's just absolutely... she's fantastic, like really, truly excellent. Then the next one we have is Hatapa. His handle is a Desert NDN. Again, he talks an awful lot about his experiences being an Indigenous person. And if I remember correctly, I think I saw a video where he was talking about he has Indigenous Mexican roots. So again, you're seeing a lot of variety and people from different tribes, and he talks an awful lot about representation, about, you know, instances of bullying, discrimination, etc. And I think that's really important for us to see that, because I think we like to think, oh, everything's fine, nothing's happening, but actually if we look at this population, they are incredibly oppressed by a system of white supremacy, let's be entirely honest, and a capitalist system that is pitted against them. Let's not even talk about how, if you look at statistics around populations who are more likely to be murdered, etc., it's female, Indigenous. It's actually terrifying. But he does some really great videos, again, all around education. I highly urge you to have a little look at that. Then we have Larissa Lynn. So her name is actually Larissa Munch, but I'm talking about her TikTok handle. She hasn't uploaded quite as much, so I'm hoping she's all right. Again, she shows an awful lot of the traditional clothing of her tribe. She's absolutely fabulous. And again, I think every Indigenous content creator had something to say when it came to the news around the residential schools. So of course she had something to say about that. She does some dances and like traditional dances, and she's absolutely fabulous. So again, check her out. Then the next person I want to talk about is Linnea, and well, her name is Nia, but her handle is It's Linnea. So she's actually Maori. I think she did a video talking about how her dad was Spanish and Maori or something. I can't 100% remember, but she talks a lot about like she has the traditional tattoo, and she talks a little bit about its meaning and some of the culture around that. So I thought it was really cool to see some Maori representation. Again, you know, this is a population that has also been repressed, let's be entirely honest. And she's just a beautiful person. She speaks a lot about empowerment and, you know, feminism. She's absolutely fantastic. Do give her a follow. So I couldn't really talk about TikTok without talking about this absolute king, Lance Sosi. So his handle is Modern Warrior, which of course you might think, warrior, that sounds really aggressive. It's not. It's warrior in the very traditional sense of protector, and that's very much the perspective that he comes from. He's so respectful, so articulate, so reasoned. Like some of the things that get launched at him on his account and how he doesn't lose his mind, I don't know, but he always comes back from a very calm and composed perspective, which I really respect and really admire. I know that that's not easy. He is an incredible advocate. A couple of months ago, he talked about there was this young boy who was pinned down by two other kids and his hair was cut off, which is, let's be fair, assault. And for those who are from Indigenous communities, actually hair is actually really important. Like it's not just, oh, whatever, it'll grow back. It means something. So he really advocated for that and called light to this and said, well, there's a real issue in the schooling system that this isn't being addressed in the way that it needs to be. Now, do I think that you should go down and sit and bulk watch all of his content? No. And the reason why I would say that is you're probably not going to get the message by sitting down and watching a chunk of them. I think the best way to look at Lance's content is to sit and watch one video and maybe watch it on repeat to really get what it is that he's saying and sit with it for a while and really try and understand it. Now, some people get really annoyed because his opening line is, "Hey, colonizer." If you find that offensive, maybe ask yourself why that might be offensive. You know, I think he's absolutely fantastic. So again, he's a Navajo creator. He is so softly spoken. I'm going to say it now. I want him to be the next Wolverine, right? Marvel, get on that, please. He's absolutely fantastic, right? Just follow him for the love of whomever. I think he's absolutely brilliant. He's so respectful. I think one of the other things he does really well is he builds up other content creators. There is a huge amount of solidarity there with other people who have been oppressed, and he's a modern warrior. He is looking out for people who have been discriminated against, and he's just looking for equality and respect and dignity. Is that a lot? No, but apparently it seems to be in some corners of the world. So I really admire him, and the hatred that he gets, the vitriol online is terrible. So if you can go over there, show him a bit of love, give him a follow, you'll learn an awful lot as you're there, and he's absolutely spectacular. Wonderful. So now we're on to beauty brands, because obviously if you watch my channel, you're interested in makeup. Now, another great way that you can support the Indigenous community is obviously to help them financially. And you can do this by buying brands from the communities themselves. So one of the first really obvious brands is Cheekbone Beauty. It's an Indigenous owned brand out of Ontario, Canada. Now, my girl Manuela, who goes by Chloe Demure, Save the Victory Roll, is a big advocate of this particular brand, and she actually sent me a blush from them. Oh my lord, the pigmentation. They're absolutely fantastic. And the thing is, when you are buying something from this brand, it's not like, oh, you're just giving money to this person who owns this brand. Actually, in true Indigenous style, it isn't about keeping the wealth towards themselves. The owner of Cheekbone actually has distributed quite a bit of money across various causes. And look, I mean, I told you about the Choctaws earlier. Are we that surprised? No, that's just the population that we're talking about. They're just fabulous, right? So if you're putting money towards them, you know that something good will come out of it. And I think this is one of the things that comes from their website. They say, true to our roots, Cheekbone's definition of success is not based upon what you attain for yourself, but instead in what you give back to your community. And I think that's such a powerful message. Like how would you not want to support a brand that is their ethos? So check them out. They're absolutely fantastic. Another one that has popped up over the last couple of months, years, is Prados Beauty. And again, they create inclusive beauty. We're all about that, and it's through the lens of Indigenous creators on Turtle Island, actually, interestingly enough. And Cece, I know, not my cat, the human being, Cece, that's the name of the person who owns Prados Beauty, which again, I'm like, oh, this is like we were meant to be. I really want to get some stuff from their brand. So she's a Zikana Indigenous woman. So she grew up being part of two cultures, and she saw so much beauty in both. And again, when you're looking at these brands, you're going to see that theme of inclusivity and joy. And from what I remember, again, this brand, because I've been keeping an eye out on them for things like releases and rants, they do give a proportion of their sales back to their community. So a certain amount of what they earn, they're pumping back into their community. Which again, how many brands do we know that do that? Not many. She says in the mission statement, we encourage our youth and our supporters to push the boundaries of conventional thinking. We are building a community of dreamers and misfits who choose to follow their own path in life. And if that isn't a powerful message, I don't know what is. I think this is one of the things that you're going to see with the Indigenous owned companies. They just have this really powerful mission statement. So do give that a little look. Then I have seen this brand popping up in the last couple of months. This is Indigenous Lashes. So this is a newer little indie brand, you know, so keep an eye out. If you're in the States, this is going to be easier for you guys to look at. Now, when I was looking up the information, it said that it's run by a lady called Adela, but she prefers to be called Della, so let's call her Della. And she's from the Tulle River Band of Yokuts tribe in California, and she's the mother of 3 fabulous children. So she sat down and started to write down style names, and she turned to her Indigenous roots. So if you actually look at the names of the lashes that she has, they are inspired by her life experiences, which I just think is really nice. So look, let's face it, we all need a pair of lashes. Maybe several pairs of lashes. Maybe have a little think about whether or not you want to get a couple of pairs from them as well. A couple? 5 million? Who knows? So the very last brand I actually want to talk about is Blended Girl Cosmetics. Now, it actually started off as Chiffon Cosmetics after the creator herself, and she found, obviously, when she was looking at makeup, she didn't see a lot of representation or kind of any images of herself. She couldn't see her own people in makeup, and this is often what we see. That's the onus upon brands like this being born. And she took it upon herself when she was in college to come up with a business plan for her own cosmetics line. And again, this is a theme her brand actually has donated to the Navajo Hopi COVID Relief, Black Lives Matter, Page Outreach, and they have also given money towards families who needed help with their bills. So if that doesn't let you know that that is something worth giving your money towards, not only will you get fabulous, beautiful makeup, let's be real, we all love that, but you're giving towards a person who is caring about their community and actively wants to make the world a better place. Maybe put your money towards them instead of Amazon. Yeah, Jeffrey Bezos, I'm looking at you. Cannot stand you. I'm sorry, I just can't. That went negative very quickly. But anyways, that's it. Do please check out every single one of these creators. I really don't think that you will regret it. You will learn an awful lot. I think your life will be enriched by just having these people in your life at your fingertips. Look at it, a little TikTok video, an Instagram reel, picture, a little YouTube vlog. Buy something nice from some of these creators. Like, check it out. Do that. I know the likes of Lance has merch, so he's a modern warrior on TikTok, and I've been thinking about getting my paws on some of his merch, which is like things like "Hey colonizer," and I'm like, am I too white to wear that? Probably, but I do enjoy that, and I'm like, maybe I should get that for myself and my partner Sahil. Feel like he would enjoy that as well. Forgive my ratty appearance. I have not been sleeping at all, really. And I just can't even be bothered to put on concealer. But I thought it was more important to sit down and have a little chat about these particular fabulous people than sitting down and putting on some makeup. That was not where my energy was going to go. So that's it. That's the end of the video. Do please like, comment and subscribe to all of these fabulous people that I've mentioned. And to me, I guess, if you feel like it, no pressure, do please share, because sharing is caring. This is probably the video of all of my videos that I am very adamant that you share, because we need to get the word out there about these fabulous people and the content they're coming out with. Please do. But that's it. That's the end of the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.